Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Ned Mac with DFS Stats and Facts. It's December 19th, 2019, and we got a packed Week 16 coming up this week. Saturday is starting off very strong with three crazy games. You got Tampa Bay and Houston, you got New England and Buffalo, and you got San Fran and the Rams. And we're going to get right into it because it's a lot to talk about just off of these three games. I will also be on here tomorrow on the 20th to give y'all more advice, more picks, and more predictions on Sunday's games. Excuse me. It's 11 of them. But yeah, man, as always, before I even get started, thank you for all the support and the love, and let's get right into it. So starting off, because it's really, really crazy. Last week was nuts. So stars in charge. I cannot believe I'm gonna say this, but I got Jameis Winston on here because y'all be sleeping on him. But Jameis Winston, he was 6'9". Well, he's 6'9" this week. 36.7 last week. 458 yards, 4 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. You know you guys throw his interception, right? But this week he has Houston. Okay, 28th against quarterbacks. No, 31st against quarterbacks, 28th against stopping the pass. So, last two games, real quick. Winston has had 40.7 with 456 and 4 touchdowns, and he had 3 interceptions, and that was 2 weeks ago. And I already gave you the stats on last week. Winston, I believe, would be a pretty good pick this week, especially against Houston's defense. Why? Because Houston's defense is not that great, especially against the pass. So Winston is probably going to throw a couple picks. I don't know if that's your thing, but look, man, he backs it up now. At least he's backing it up. Earlier in the year, he wasn't backing it up. He was just throwing interceptions and give you like 1 or 2 touchdowns with like 8,000 interceptions. But now it's a little in reverse because he got my boy Pierman, who is going to be playing, but Mike Evans is on IR, and just got word that Godwin is out. So Pierman is probably going to snap again, which leads me to my second star in charge was obviously Pierman last week. 6,000, 37.6 in fantasy, 5 receptions, 113 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Got a hat trick. I could not believe it. Again, man, Mike Evans is done with this year. I don't know how long Godwin's going to be out, but Tampa Bay ain't going to the playoffs, so you only got this week and next week. So keep Pierman in mind. He's definitely probably going to go off on Houston because who else is he going to throw to? I'll get to that later. But yeah, man, bums to stay away from, jumping right into it. Philip Dorsett, man, stay away from my mans. I cannot believe it, but yeah, stay away from him. 3,100, 0 receptions in the last 2 games. Only 2 receptions for 15 yards before that. Not really too good. I'm staying away from that. Jared Goff, he's been on here a couple times, right? 5,800. If you want to pick him, I wouldn't. I'm just be honest with you. Don't do it. There's a lot of other quarterbacks, a lot of better quarterbacks. I'll take Winston over him. I'll take Josh Allen over him. Just talking about Saturday now. Yeah, stay away from Jared Goff, man. You should already know his numbers. They ain't really that good. He has been getting a little bit better for him. He's giving you like 18 fantasy, but still, I need 20 or more. I've been saying it all year. That's how I've been. So yeah, Jared Goff, don't do it. Darren Fells, honorable mention on bums to stay away from, as well as Dawson Knox. Hasn't really been giving you anything as well. So those two, yeah, I'm not even putting their stats on because it's really embarrassing. So I'm not even going to do that. But yeah, just stay away from them. I don't see them turning up at all. You got Josh Allen going against New England's defense this week. Don't know which New England defense is going to show up, though, because honestly, New England's defense has been slipping. But we're going to get to that as well. Elite sleeps. I got my boy Raheem Mostert. He has had a touchdown in the last 4 games, 20 plus fantasy in the last 2 of those games, and he gave you 11.9 last week, which is pretty dope at the price. At his price, he is at 6,100 this week though because he's been turning up, obviously. Rex Burkhead is back, 3,600. Another elite sleep touchdown in the last game. I really think that he is going to be back. With the decrease of Sony Michel, who had a decent week last week, but before that, Sony Michel has been very quiet. James White has been more consistent. So yeah, I just gave you another person, but James White, man, he's been the back this year, and in my opinion, James White has been the back with Burkhead being out that long and Sony Michel not really turning up the way he's used to be turning up. So yeah, man, don't forget about Burkhead. He's very cheap, 3,600. So yeah, and another elite sleep. My boy Will Fuller, because he's back from injury. He's been back for a couple weeks now, but last week he really showed himself a little bit. I don't know if that's because Deshaun Watson was in a little bit of trouble and had to get up out of it. But yeah, 11.1 he gave you last week, 5 receptions, 61 yards. Just didn't have the touchdown, but he still gave you 11.1. That's not bad, especially at his price, 5,900. So yeah, Tampa Bay is last against wide receivers, by the way, and 30th in giving up passing yards. So yeah, keep Will Fuller in mind, as well as obviously DeAndre Hopkins. But yeah, speaking of DeAndre Hopkins, let's go right into wide receivers wilding. Kenny Stills is at 4,400, 3 receptions, 35 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I'll get him out of the way first. Kenny Stills has been turning up as well. Houston is going to be all over the place. I think it's going to be a shootout against Tampa Bay, to be honest. They're just going to be going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth all night. That afternoon. And DeAndre Hopkins at 8,500. He was also wilding. 6 receptions, 119 yards. No touchdown, though, but gave you 20.9. And in week 14, he gave you 29.2. DeAndre Hopkins is doing what DeAndre Hopkins does. Cooper Kupp, about time he's back on here. 6,600, 6 receptions last week, 41 yards and 1 touchdown. Cooper Kupp was scaring me, mainly because of Jared Goff, and I still don't trust it, but at least he's getting his receptions up. But it is taking much longer now for him to get passes thrown his way. I don't know what's wrong with Jared Goff, but I know Cooper Kupp has been open. I'm literally watching games and seeing Cooper Kupp open. Jared Goff just doesn't see anything. But yeah, that is my wide receivers wildin', who you should definitely think about this week. But yeah, running backs, running-ish. You had Todd Gurley last week, 6,300 this week, but 11 attempts, 20 yards, and 1 touchdown. 3 receptions, 18 yards, and also a receiving touchdown. Todd Gurley is turning up around. He usually turns up around this time to get them like that little playoff push, I guess. But yeah, you got Todd Gurley, 20-plus fantasy last 2 games. Going into San Fran, who, yeah, they're going against San Fran. So they're going to need him to do that again, pretty much, or better, because San Fran, you already know they doing, and they've been doing it all year. So you got my boy Carlos Hyde, another running back that was running-ish last week. He is 5,000. He had 26 attempts, 104 yards, and 1 touchdown. That's beautiful, especially at his price. Definitely give you what you need. And at that low price, you can fit in other people. And look, I have a field day with stuff like that. So Carlos Hyde, man, definitely want to keep him in mind. And I already mentioned this guy a little early because I got a little excited because this is huge, man. James White, 5,800, 3 attempts last week, 13 yards, 3 receptions, 49 yards, and a touchdown. He's been, again, man, I can't say it enough. James White has been very consistent this year, and I think that continues this week as well as next week, and when the Patriots, again, go to the playoffs. But, yeah, whatever. 15.2 for him last week, though. Buffalo, however, is 13th against the running backs, and and 10th against the rush. So we'll see what happens there with that. But I really don't think it matters because, Tom Brady always finds a way somehow, even when he's not having the best of games. Defense wins fantasy chips too. Now, this is very interesting because all these defense were either really good this year and then started slipping, or was just straight tripping off rip. But I'll go 49ers, 3,400. Last 3 weeks has been allowing, in the last 3 weeks though, keep this in mind because this is a crazy stat, right? Last 3 weeks has been very ugly, allowing 95 points in total in those 3 weeks. And the last time they played the Rams, they only allowed, though, 7 points. So that's why I put them on here. They had a fumble recovery and a sack. They sacked Goff 4 times. So you want to keep that in mind. Going against Goff, don't know which Jared Goff is going to show up. As of late, you've been getting a better Jared Goff, but not the best Jared Goff. And against a good defense, if that defense starts tackling them, smacking them around or whatever, I think it's a wrap for the Rams. So, yeah, keep 49ers defense in mind, as well as, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Tampa Bay's defense, if you want to go low, 2,300. Again, it will probably be a shootout with Houston. However, in the last 4 games, 15 fantasy points or more for Tampa Bay out of 3 of the 4. Yeah, and 4 interceptions, 4 defensive fumble recoveries, and 8 sacks. So that's why I put them on here. 2,300 is very low, and you can get way more people, way more like higher up people on there, if you will. And if you want to, totally up to you. But there's a lot of low scale people on here that could definitely give you that same fantasy love. And that's why I do this. But yeah, tight ends turning up. Tyler Higbee, he will not be denied. 5,012 receptions last week, 111 yards, but did not get that touchdown. But he definitely gave you 20 plus fantasy, and he's been doing that for the last 3 weeks with 1 touchdown. Honorable mention, I would say definitely keep Cameron Brate and Howard, OJ Howard in mind, because you got now Godwin who's out, and you have my boy Mike Evans who's on IR. So that was the number 1 and the number 2 receiver. He's not going to throw to Perriman all day. I mean, he did have 3 touchdowns last week, but you got to throw to other people, right? My quarterback question is this. Okay. Tom Brady, I'm gonna just start here because I brought up Tom Brady already. But Tom Brady, fantasy-wise, he's lucky he's not on bums to stay away from, to be honest. He has been slipping heavy. And I've been saying that since last year. But this year, he has been slipping hard. I don't even know how the Patriots, well, I guess they find ways, right? Right. But I don't know how Tom Brady does it, to be honest. But, yo, his numbers are terrible as of late. Very terrible. So my question is, will he find an answer for the Bills? Because last time the Patriots played the Bills almost beat the Patriots. All the way back in, I believe it was week 4 or 6. One of those weeks, the Bills almost really beat the Patriots. So, and they only allowed 16? Don't quote me right now, but I'm pretty sure they only allowed 7 or 16 points. So, I didn't put the Bills defense on here, though, because, again, Patriots, they be finding ways. So, I ain't even going to be like, yo, pick up the Bills defense. But, yo, yeah, will Tom Brady find an answer for the Bills this time? Because, yeah, they got away in the last game, but he ain't really have a great game. He threw no touchdowns, and he threw an interception. So, yeah, don't really sound like Tom Brady, does it? We'll see what's up, though. He gave you 4.7 fantasy as well. So keep that in mind. It's a lot of things you want to keep in mind just off of Saturday. That's it for Saturday, though, man. It's only 3 games. Definitely choose wisely. Gave you some great players to think about. Put them in your lineup if you want to. Thanks for rocking with me. I appreciate y'all. Like I said, I'll be right back on here tomorrow to kick it up for the 11 games on Sunday. Later.